Hey everyone, welcome. Let's just jump right into today's explainer. In this animated educational script, we're tackling something that's literally fundamental to our lives, but honestly, it's almost never taught clearly. We're looking at the high cost of waiting when it comes to early wealth management. More specifically, we're going to unpack what might just be the single biggest money mistake people make in their 20s, financial procrastination. It's a trap that is incredibly common, yet so totally avoidable if you just have the right framework in place. So if you want to understand exactly how early financial decisions ripple out over a lifetime, you are in the exact right place.
Okay, let's dive into this with a question that really sets the stakes for us. What if one single decision in your 20s determined your next 30 years? I mean, think back, or hey, look forward to that very first real paycheck. We put all this emphasis on landing the job, right? But we rarely pause to consider that how we allocate that first influx of cash is basically the ultimate fork in the road. Is that first check going to set the foundation for total financial freedom, or is it literally step one into 3 decades of just struggle? Let's figure out how this actually plays out with a bit of a cautionary lesson.
Part 1. Ryan's Instant Gratification Trap. So, let's meet a 24-year-old named Ryan. He just landed a great new job and finally got that first real salary. Looking at his bank account, for the first time ever, there's a significant balance staring back at him. He's feeling successful, accomplished, ready to celebrate naturally. So he goes right out and buys a brand new phone, some designer shoes, and a whole stack of expensive gadgets. What we're seeing here is the absolute classic mistake of financial procrastination, totally driven by immediate gratification. Ryan isn't thinking about wealth. He's entirely focused on upgrading his present moment. Basically, he's trading the foundational building blocks of his future for stuff that's going to lose its value the second he takes it out of the box. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the psychology behind those purchases. Ryan tells himself, I deserve this. I'll start saving when I earn more. And wow, that right there is the absolute crux of the issue. That mindset, it's a psychological trap that catches millions of people early in their careers. Because Ryan has basically convinced himself of 2 very dangerous things. First, that spending money is the only way to reward himself. And second, that saving is just something you do when you magically have a huge surplus of income in some vague, distant future. He honestly believes that when his salary goes up, saving will just happen effortlessly. But let's actually trace how that assumption plays out. Picture the calendar pages just flying by. Ryan starts at 24 with that first paycheck. As the years roll on, he does exactly what he planned. He moves up in his career. By 27, his salary has absolutely increased. He is making way more money than he was at 24. But, and here's the kicker, by age 30, he's at 0 savings. The time passed, the income grew, but his wealth completely stagnated. That future where saving was supposed to be easy finally arrived. But well, the savings didn't. So why does this happen? It all boils down to one incredibly powerful force: lifestyle inflation. This is a totally critical concept for us to grasp. Basically, lifestyle inflation means that as your income goes up, your expenses rise right alongside it to match. When Ryan got that raise at 27, he didn't funnel that extra cash into an investment account. Nope, he just upgraded his lifestyle. A slightly nicer apartment, a more expensive car lease, pricier dinners. That higher income completely neutralized any potential financial gains because his baseline for what he thinks he needs just kept creeping upward.
And that brings us to the harsh reality of Ryan's situation at age 30. $0. I mean, absolutely nothing to show for 6 years of hard work and raises. He's got 0 savings, 0 investments working in the background, and honestly, this is the scary part: absolutely no emergency fund. Because he prioritized instant gratification and totally fell victim to lifestyle inflation, a 30-year-old Ryan is in the exact same precarious financial position as he was at 24.
Part 2. Emma's long-term strategy. But it really doesn't have to be this way. Let me introduce you to Emma. Emma is our model for a smart, structured strategy for achieving early financial independence. Now, she is the exact same age as Ryan, earning the exact same salary, and dealing with the exact same societal pressures. But her foundational choices? Totally different. While Ryan leaned into instant gratification, Emma goes all in on early investment. Instead of letting her cash slip through her fingers on things that lose value, Emma takes a slice of that very first paycheck, and every paycheck after it, and puts it into investments. She delays a tiny amount of gratification today to build a massive foundation for her tomorrow. And this brilliantly illustrates the core engine powering Emma's strategy: compound growth. I absolutely love this concept. It's essentially the ability of an investment to generate earnings, which are then reinvested to generate their own earnings. It's like your money is out there making babies, and then those babies grow up and make their own babies. Because Emma started investing at 24, her money has time to snowball.
It isn't just sitting in a checking account gathering dust. It's actively working for her 24/7, growing exponentially simply because she gave it the runway it needed. Which leads us to arguably the most crucial point of this entire explainer: time is greater than peak income. Seriously, when it comes to building financial freedom, when you start saving matters far, far more than the total amount of money you end up earning later in life. See, Ryan thought he could just wait until he hit a higher peak income to catch up. But because of compound growth, the time Emma spent in the market from 24 to 30 gives her a mathematical advantage that Ryan will struggle to ever overcome, even if he eventually lands a way higher salary than her later on.
Just look at the reality of this strategy by the time they both hit 30. They started at the exact same starting line, same salary, everything. But the wealth gap here is massive. It proves unequivocally that early investment absolutely crushes waiting around for a higher salary. Emma has essentially bought herself options, security, and a giant head start on total financial independence. And she did it simply because she respected the power of time.
Part 3. Your financial freedom choice.
So let's bring the focus back to you. It's time to relate this cautionary lesson to your own life and your own upcoming financial milestones. Look, we all have a little bit of Ryan and a little bit of Emma inside of us, right? The urge to reward ourselves is completely natural. But understanding the structured mechanics of lifestyle inflation versus compound growth, that gives you the power to consciously choose your path. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Will your next paycheck fund a fleeting luxury or your future freedom? Every single time money hits your account, you're making a choice between a short-term dopamine hit and long-term, lasting wealth. You've got the knowledge now to avoid the high cost of waiting. So, what are you going to choose? Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you next time.